Portia. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video, we're getting into credit card debt. So thank God that I was never one to rack up credit cards, but I do believe in having a credit card for an emergency. So way back when I was a young tenderoni, my first year in college, I went to a school that, well, I won't say it was the school. So near the school was a lot of restaurants. And so I think every week or something, like Discover would give you a free coupon to this sub place called Quiznos if you completed a credit card application for them. So one day I went and I did the application to get the free sub. And a few weeks later, I got a credit card in the mail. And that was my first time ever having a credit card, ever applying for a credit card. And I kept that credit card for 2 years before I activated it. And I activated it only because I needed it for some kind of payment that came up, unexpectedly. And that was the only time, because I knew that credit cards was not free money, that needed to be paid back by somebody, and that somebody was going to be me. So I was very careful to not use credit cards unless I absolutely needed to use them, and then I paid them off as soon as I could. So fast forward to my last semester of CRNA school. So maybe one day I'll do a video about things that I wish I knew before I started CRNA school. And one thing is planning for after school. So, sorry, for example, my last semester in school, my last month in school was December 2022. However, my lease in the apartment that I was in wasn't up until February. And so therefore I still had to pay January and February's rent. Not only that, is I'm done with school in December, but I still have to study and take boards. So I still need to live after school. And so I didn't account for any of that. And so I wasn't financially prepared for any of that. But around that time, that's when I started dating my current boyfriend, and he just gave me the advice to apply for a 0% interest credit card. And I was like, nobody's gonna give me a credit card. I don't have any income. But little did I know the trick that I was doing during school helped my credit score, which shot it through the roof. And I was able to get approved for a credit card for an substantial amount of money. But it was exactly the amount that I needed to help me get through 2 months rent, pay security deposit for here, and then move. And so whenever I got my first check from my job, which I started in March of 2023, I was able to start paying off that debt. And because it was 0% interest, I paid it off over the course of 6 months. So it worked out perfectly. So I do believe in having credit cards in an emergency and using them when it's beneficial to you. But anyway, so when I was in CRNA school, I decided to put all of my bills, with the exception of rent, I decided to put all of my bills on one of my credit cards. And that was really because I knew my income would be unpredictable. You know, it wasn't consistent like the income I had when I was a nurse. So I didn't want bills to be coming out of my account causing it to be overdrawn. So I put all of my bills on my credit card, and then I actually paid them off every month. I paid the entire balance every month, and that actually increased my credit score. You know, so unintentionally, I increased my credit score significantly doing that over the course of 3 years. And when I needed that big credit card limit, I was able to get it. And so we can use credit cards to our advantage. And like now, I use my reward points for certain things. So credit cards can be used to our advantage in the right way. Again, it's about education. Okay, so guys, let's get started.
I recently went viral for having $30,000 in credit card debt, and it even got picked up by Newsweek. There was an article featuring my credit card debt. And throughout the comments, a lot of people have been recommending different, financial gurus. And of course, people have been recommending Dave Ramsey. So here is why I do not subscribe to Dave Ramsey's snowball effect and his approach in general. So, for starters, the entire premise of his plan hinges on having extra money to put toward. So, you pay off everything. You pay your bills, you pay all your credit cards, you pay all your debts, and then any extra money you have, stop right there. Who the fuck has extra money? So then he's like, aha, yes, if you don't have extra money, get a second job, get a third job, eat rice and beans. That's actually something I joined a Dave Ramsey like private Facebook group. People all the time reference rice and beans, rice and beans. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not willing to do anything to get out of debt. I'm not willing to eat rice and beans every day. I'm not willing to have 3 jobs and not spend time with my children. I'm not willing to forego my favorite salad on a Friday when I feel like getting one. My bills and my debt is so tremendous that $20 here, $100 there is not making an impact. The cost of living and low wages is to blame for the financial woes of most Americans. And being told that we...
So, I read one of Dave Ramsey's books. It's called Financial Freedom, and I've seen a few of his shows. I've seen some clips on YouTube. Dave Ramsey's approach isn't for me. It is something that I will actually like to do because I'm not one of those people that believe that you should pay off all of your debt before investing. So it all depends on what kind of approach you want to take. And if you have small debts, $20,000 here, $5,000 there, then of course knock those out. Or you're talking about most of us who have like 150 plus in student loans, then I mean it gets a little bit more complicated. Now, so as far as her saying that she's not willing to do whatever it takes to pay off or pay down her debt, it just shows it's just an example of her mindset or how bad she wants it. She may not really want to go aggressive towards that debt because small things do add up. And if she was to cut out, I don't know, save a few $100 a month, that's significant. But it has to be a choice that we make. And I do agree that wages and cost of living are also a factor in what's going on. However, if you were to get an increase in income and the cost of living was to go back down to an affordable price, would you still make the same financial choices? So I think people are forgetting the key component here, which is your mindset. No matter how much money you have, if your mindset is the same, you're gonna make the same choices and you're gonna be in the same situations. And that's not my opinion. That is a fact.
I saw this video of this girl balancing her budget from her job, and I think like her pay, like her salary is like 75,000. In the video, she said that her statement for her credit card was like 2,100, and at the end of her balancing out her whole like spreadsheet, she was in negative $200 for the next 2 weeks. Let me just say this: I love that she made that video and that she woke that up, because a lot of people be wondering how people be affording all these designer things, yada yada yada. A lot of them are just simply swiping that fucking credit card. A lot of people are literally just living in fucking debt, big debts. Like, when she said her ending balance was $2,000, I think her limit said like 9,000. That's not even the smallest credit card debt I've seen on people that I personally fucking know. Like, so many people are not only living paycheck to paycheck, baby, they are living credit card statement to credit card statement. And it's literally just a cycle, because after they pay off that statement and they're at like negative $200 for the week, guess what they then have to turn around and do? You betcha. They have to use that fucking credit card. Don't let them have multiple credit cards, baby. We're talking about thousands and thousands of debt. And the other piece of it is that there probably are some scammers out here, or some people who really do have making over 100,000 are tech girls who we love, and the doctors and the nurses, yada yada yada. But a lot of people are just consumed by credit card debt, and it's just a cycle of credit card debt and bad spending habits. Now,
So I'm with her, as in, like, I'm scrolling social media sometimes. I'm like, how is it that so many people are traveling, not just going to the next town over, but I mean like international travel, going down to Miami. Listen, Miami is home, but Miami is not cheap. And a lot of spots in Miami that everybody go to are tourist spots, and and it is overpriced. When I say, my friend and I, we went to this rooftop restaurant in Midtown, and Midtown is starting to become a tourist area. And her and I literally, it's a tapas. Her and I ordered a little bit of, I think I ordered two different things. She ordered two different things. We both had one drink. Each of our bills ended up being $70. And they tacked on the gratuities already included and some kind of like, I don't, some other type of fee was in there. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, so it was brought to my attention too recently that people are out here using credit cards to fund life. I think I watched a CNBC special or CNBC news clip a few days ago, and the title of it was Financing the Vacation. And so they're saying that a lot of Americans, instead of not vacationing, they're deciding to put vacations on their credit cards. I don't understand, like, why? Like, why? Like, it seems like as this world continues, our financial decisions become worse and worse.
I just love living above my means. So
Right, I mean,
like,
we all do.
I'm not going to adjust. I'll just have a lot of credit card debt. I don't care. I'm like not stopping.
So relatable.
Gotta
so
chase Sapphire, and
funny.
I'm like, I'm literally rich. Like, I'm like, who cares?
That's just called manifesting. You're just
Exactly.
You're setting the lifestyle that you're gonna be living.
$30,000 in Victoria's Secret. Now, granted, Victoria's Secret and Pink bras are expensive. Underwear is pricey. I only buy it twice a year, and we all know that's during June and January during the semi-annual sales. Other than that, we don't buy at Victoria's Secret and Pink. So she has $30,000 from Victoria's Secret. I wonder why, how? Maybe buying Christmas gifts and birthday gifts for friends and family? I don't know. Ugh.
How I got myself $23,000 into credit card debt. I started dating a guy when I was around 12 or 13, and I dated him throughout middle school, high school, and into my early 20s. I'm not going to get into the super juicy details of this relationship, but just know that it was mentally, physically, emotionally abusive. And I am so, so grateful to be out of that relationship now. But I did make some bad financial decisions whenever I broke that relationship off 3 years ago. When I was in that relationship, I was controlled a lot, and I wasn't able to hang out with my friends. I wasn't able to travel. I wasn't really able to do anything, and that kind of led into my spending problem whenever I left that relationship. So I broke it off. I started doing solo trips out the wazoo. I was doing solo trip after solo trip, and guess what? I didn't have any money. I was working as a teller in a bank. I still work in a bank, but I've since moved up positions. But I was working as a teller, so I wasn't making much. And so in turn, I was putting it all on my credit cards because I wanted to have these experiences that I felt like I had lost out on. Does that make sense? I pretty much did the same thing over and over and over and over again. I went on so many trips. I fell in love with national parks and hiking. And eventually I found myself $23,000 into credit card debt. And now I'm on a mission to pay that off as quickly as I possibly can. I know what it feels like to feel like you're drowning in your credit card debt, your minimum payments. And a lot of the times, if you have high credit card debt like I do, the interest rates are just eating up any monthly payments that you make. It sucks that I put myself in that situation, and if you're in that situation, all you can do is get yourself out. And if you only have one stream of income, like your full-time job.
So even though I pay off my credit cards I pay off my credit card balance every month for all of my cards, unless I have a card at 0% interest, and I'll take my time paying that card. However, like these credit cards, look at your credit card statement, and for every car, it's gonna tell you your APR. And I think the cheapest one that I have is 18%. Yep, like these credit cards are worse than student loans. It's crazy. Just be careful out there. This money has to be paid back by somebody.
If you are in hot girl debt, I got you. Here's exactly what you're gonna do. This was my first year ever being in debt, and it has been one of the most stressful experiences of my life. I do not recommend it. Avoid getting into credit card debt. It's not cute. Anyways, back to the trick. My schemer dad taught me this. He's a self-proclaimed cockroach to society. Step 1, you're gonna research new credit cards with 0% interest for 18 months. You're gonna open up a new credit card. It will take you 5 seconds. While you're opening up that credit card, there's going to be an option for you to transfer your debt. I had no idea you could do this. Like I said, it was my first year ever being in debt. I'm trying to get out of it real quick, but this changed my life. Now, I'm gonna warn you, there is a one-time transfer fee of like $200, but you're paying that in interest anyways. You're basically paying that transfer fee so that you can be interest-free for 18 months. Basically, this is gonna just buy you some breather time to get out of debt. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a girl in New York City chasing my dreams who already feels like a millionaire, and I got myself into a little bit of credit card debt because of it. Hope this helps.
So that's actually not bad advice, but she's giving it from a standpoint of racking up credit card debt just from spending and trying to live a millionaire pretty girl lifestyle. So the advice that she gives is not bad advice. So let's say you have 2 other credit cards and you have a balance of about 5,000 on one and 7,000 on another. You open up a credit card at 0% interest and you have a balance of 20,000, or I'm sorry, a credit of 20,000, and you can transfer that 12,000 over to the other card, and you can't pay a fee, and just pay that transfer fee, and then you have all that balance on one card, and that card has 0% interest. And then you pay that off. You can pay that off at a slower rate because there's nothing compounding. However, I feel like that should be done for people who understand that I got myself into a bind this one time and I'm not going to do it again. So it's not something for you. It's not something for you to continue to fund your bad spending habits. It's just not. So yeah, guys. So I believe that credit cards can be used to our advantage whenever they're used right and with the proper education. But don't fall trap into spending and racking up credit card debt just to fund a lifestyle for Instagram. You still have to live your life once the phone is off and you stop scrolling. So you want your real world to be better than your virtual world. At least I do. All right. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.